Welcome to American Press Productions, independent political analysis. Our featured story today is Crisis at Our Southern Border, Customs and Border Patrol Overwhelmed. But first, the daily headlines. Newly elected Democratic Representative Rashida Tlaib plans to file an impeachment resolution against President Trump. She said, quote, "I think every single colleague of mine agrees there's impeachable offenses. It's really important that the President of the United States is investigated in violations of the United States Constitution." End quote. Tlaib also said that the president was a bully and that it's in the best interests of the American people to impeach him. Only hours after being sworn into her office did Tlaib publicly tell an event audience, quote, "We're going to impeach the mother effer," end quote. If there's anyone who sounds like a bully here, it's not President Trump. House Judiciary Committee Jerry Nadler announced Monday that he will be opening new investigations into President Trump's campaign, businesses, transition, and administration, which sound very similar to previous concluded investigations that have found no wrongdoing on the part of President Trump. A transgendered person, born a female, but who has transitioned with hormone therapy to appear as a man, has recently given birth. The man was impregnated naturally by a gay man. The couple did not expect pregnancy was possible because of the hormone therapy, but will raise the baby as their own. U.S. District Judge Richard Seaborg of the Northern District of California found that adding a citizenship question to the U.S. Census to be unconstitutional. The judge said the citizenship question would be fundamentally counterproductive to the goal of obtaining accurate citizenship data about the public. But the judge seems to be misrepresenting what that goal is. Population counts determine the amount of congressional representatives a state gets. The higher the population, the more congressmen. Population counts also determine how much federal and state money can be spent in specific districts. That means citizens' tax money being spent to serve illegal immigrants. And it's not only that Judge Seaborg is selling out American citizens to benefit illegal immigrants. This is a political power grab by the Democrats. Both legal and illegal immigrants overwhelmingly vote Democrat. As sanctuary cities continue to swell with illegal immigrants, those numbers will split districts that already traditionally vote Democrat and add another. The Supreme Court is scheduled to hold a hearing on this issue on April 23rd. And now to our featured story. Crisis at our southern border. Customs and Border Patrol overwhelmed. In the month of February, more than 76,000 people were caught by Customs and Border Patrol crossing the border illegally, the highest number in more than 12 years. Fiscal year 2019 is seeing a reversal of the overall downward trend of people illegally crossing the border since the 2006 Secure Fence Act. In just 5 months, the total number of apprehensions and inadmissibles is already approaching the totals for the past 5 years. Quote, "We are currently facing a humanitarian and national security crisis along our southwest border," CBP Commissioner Kevin K. McAleenan said in a press release regarding the increasing numbers. CBP is arresting on average 1,000 people per day in the Rio Grande section of the border in fiscal year 2019. At this pace, the Rio Grande alone will see 240,000 arrests made in fiscal year 2019. But it's not just illegals attempting to cross the border. CBP also makes weekly significant drug busts. In the past 2 weeks, they seized 111 pounds of cocaine in Laredo, 1,900 pounds of marijuana at multiple points along the Rio Grande, and in Nogales, 2,900 pounds of marijuana and 360 pounds of methamphetamine. Customs and Border Patrol are forced to operate in the interior of the country as well, even as far north as Maine, where last week they arrested a previously deported illegal alien. Last weekend in Tucson, in separate incidents, 2 illegals were arrested who were found to have been previously deported. In each case, they were deported after serving prison sentences in America, one for assault, kidnapping, and intent to rape in California, the other for vehicular homicide in Alabama. A man was also caught attempting to illegally enter America in Nogales. During processing, it was found out that he had previously been convicted for rape in Oregon. But perhaps most daunting of all, it's not just illegal immigrants and cartels that CBP has to contend with. It's our own government. Senator Mazi Hirono, Democrat from Hawaii, will question CBP Commissioner today at a Senate Judiciary Committee. Hirono believes the idea of a wall is, quote, inane, that it won't solve any of our border problems. Perhaps we have a different perception of what the problem on our border is. Hirono believes that the citizens of Central American countries are, quote, all gonna get raped, killed, or, end quote, by living in their countries. Hirono also wants to end family separation by CBP. The main problem with that is that many of these so-called families have no documentation to show they are related. It is a fact human traffickers traffic children across our southern border. But now we're entering a realm appropriately titled assumed responsibility. It is not the duty of CBP to deal with women in labor, or effectively and peacefully sort out what many have deemed an invasion at our southern border. A proper wall is the most effective measure to not just limit illegal border crossings, but also send a clear message to these migrants. Stay home. Hirono also plans to speak about the violence and humanitarian crisis in Central American countries. This is a fair point to make. These people are suffering from cartel violence which is funded by their drug trade into America, drugs they smuggle past our border. So let's end their revenue stream. And while we're at it, the international community already has the means to address humanitarian crisis. So the question really is, if things are as bad as Hirono says they are, where all people are raped and killed who live in these countries, why doesn't the international community effectively address these problems to end them?